Dear friends and followers, welcome to Fishbowlproduction. My name is Suren. Today we're going to show you how to build a DIY doorway sign that says hello, or welcome, or hello fall, or in this case, in our case, it's going to say joy. But you can be creative and you can produce anything that is appropriate for the festivities that you're celebrating, or for the season that you are on. For example, is it fall, spring? And we're going to do it in very easy 4-step process. The first one is to find or buy a piece of wood that works for you. Go to Home Depot, Lowe's. The second step is to cut to size. Basically, you trim it so you get the right size. The third step is going to be to paint it. So like off-white paint or something like that. In our case, it's going to be off-white. And then the fourth step is going to be to really spray the letters on it. And let's get started. I'm setting up my workstation. Find step one, find a piece of wood or find a couple pieces of wood. I bought this thing from Home Depot. This is really the wood that you use for picket fence. And it cost me $1.98. Worked well. I set up a power tool here, but you don't need it. You can use a hand saw. And that's step two, basically, where I am sizing the piece of wood for the to fit appropriately in front of the door. Now, the next step for me is I'm actually going to be cutting a single piece of wood into two. So it would by the end of this, you will notice that I'll have 4 pieces of wood. And I do this simply because it looks, 4 pieces of wood just simply tend to look better as opposed to 2 or a single piece of wood. Now, there are ways to make it better, and this is just how we chose to go about. So here you go. We have 4 pieces of wood. And that's step 3. So, we go on to painting next. And here I'm using an old can of paint that I was just laying around, and I think this was a good use of that paint. If you don't have it, obviously that's a few dollars extra to get one. Now, in this video all along, you will find couple interactions that I leave in the video because the exchange between my daughter and I are just simply innocent fun. So. You like our little project?
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
Oops, sorry.
Ah! Not in my t-shirt. Daddy, could you say sorry to me?
I like how she points to her to say sorry to me. This one is done.
This one.
One out of the way. Now time for the second one.
Mommy, are you done?
Yes, done with one.
And you will see how my wife is working on a wreath that we put on the door.
Good job, pumpkin.
No, I'm not pumpkin.
You are mommy's pumpkin.
No, I'm not. You are mommy and I'm Megan.
All right. The paint has now dried. I think I probably left the paint out to dry for about half a day, and then now I'm gonna just chop a piece of wood to create a backing for the 4 pieces of wood to come together. So essentially that's gonna be the back, and then I'm just gonna screw on top of that. So here, when I'm screwing it, I'm going slow, purposely slow when I'm screwing this thing because it can split the wood apart. Just again, part of DIY is to make sure that you work with cheap pieces of wood, and when the wood is cheap, it has a tendency to crack or split. So another side. I'm just getting a measurement for where I want to screw or drill the screws. See how aligned they look? That's because I used the zip tie to, I just used something to measure the distance. Here I'm laying down the pieces of letters that I have printed and cut out. This will, this is what will give me a sense for where, how the spray will turn out. Here are the 3 pieces of letter that I am putting on the board.
We're spraying our picture frame.
Is this for Christmas?
No, it's for the door.
For the door?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Good job. Yeah, it's for the door. It's not for Christmas, guys. This is a step where I'm taking measurement of the distance between the letters. I want to make sure that there are, it's not crammed into one place, giving it, equal distance from the top and the bottom of the board. On to the next step where I'm using plastic. I will be covering those letters with plastic so I can prevent the spray paint from getting everywhere. I expose those letters there like that. You can see my daughter running in the background there. Using a painter's tape to just hold the plastic against the paper backing, and the paper is taped to the board. This is probably a close-up where you can see how I expose the letters. Yep, and then tape that to the paper. Tape the plastic to the paper. You notice that there is a gap, on one side of the Y, and I think that's what, if I were to do this again, I think that is where I would be more careful. I would probably find a way to tape it even better, because when you will notice that when I start spraying it, which is step 4, in step 4 we start spraying, so this is step 4. When you spray it, the air coming out of the sprayer, sort of lifts that paper or plastic a little bit, and then the spray sort of gets inside outside of the boundaries of the letter that I want to cover. And if I were doing this again, I think that is the part I would be more careful about, is make sure that the paper holds tight against the back of the board. That way it does not lift off with the air coming out of the nozzle of the spray and lifting the paper. So you will notice in a second what I mean by that. When I expose these letters now, not that bad, right? Not that bad at all. You see how the Y, like right below Y, you see a little patch of red that is outside the Y. Here my wife is taking care of all that spray that happened outside of those letters, and even though it looks a little, the letters, the fresh paint shows up a little bit more than the old dried up paint. Eventually when it dries up, it looks good. And this is the wreath that my wife built, that's on the door. And then you see that sign there, the joy sign there. We should have done a better job with that little tree there. But here you have it, guys. It's a family project, it's a DIY project, it's cheap, and you can absolutely have fun doing it, just like I had. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, give it a like, hit that bell button so you get notified whenever I post videos. Thank you for watching. Your time is valuable, and hopefully you learned something out of today's video. Until next time, see you again.